Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. In this video, I'd like to talk about a TV series which is really wonderful. It's called Following Srila Prabhupada. It's a compilation of all the footages that we have of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees when Prabhupada was physically present on the planet. Starting from 1965, at the very beginning when he started preaching in New York City, all the way to his disappearance pastime. So this series to me is very dear because I've watched it many times already. Now I believe it's the third or fourth time that I'm watching it all over again. It's very long. It's I believe 12 episodes, 12 videos of about 2-3 hours each. So, but it's amazing because you get to hear devotees speak about the specific footage, devotees that were there, remembering the moments that they had with Srila Prabhupada, or they tell you some things that happen, amongst the devotees. So you learn a lot about how Srila Prabhupada interacted with the devotees. You learn a lot about how the movement expanded. You hear many things that would be otherwise unknown, from these senior devotees that were there when Srila Prabhupada was physically here. There's one specific thing I want to speak about, and it's about a boy at that time that Srila Prabhupada mentioned who would spread Vaishnavism throughout the world. So first of all, you can take a look. So if you go on YouTube and you type Following Srila Prabhupada, you see? So you can find there's a few YouTube channels who have it. Here you have Srila Prabhupada Warriors who's got the whole series. So so here, you see, this is the playlist here. If you type this, so Srila Prabhupada, Following Srila Prabhupada DVD 1, and here you have 2, 3, 4. As you can see, they're all 2 to 3 hours each. 11 DVDs, so 11 movies. So it starts like this, you see. And before each segment, there is this page here. So you see November 1965, New York State, Dr. Mishra's Ananda Ashram. So this is the very beginning when Srila Prabhupada was at Dr. Mishra's ashram. There he also preached and he made some devotees. So it goes like this. And it is truly wonderful. I have downloaded out of them here, so this is a better quality. So it's very long. So what I used to do is I used to watch bit by bit during my meals. When I honor prasadam, I would watch 15-20 minutes every day in this way. I don't watch when I have big meals because it's not very good for digestion, but breakfast or a little meal, light meal in the evening, I would watch segments of this. And I can guarantee you that it really helps you to get closer to Srila Prabhupada, because this is something that we all need to do. He is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He is the spiritual master of everyone on the planet at the moment. If you want to be properly connected to the parampara, you need to go through Srila Prabhupada. There's no other way around it at the moment. And to hear about the devotees that were there speaking about the pastimes of a pure devotee of the Lord, and to see how Srila Prabhupada was interacting with his devotees in intimate matter, very caring, fatherly figure. And also to hear how cunning he was sometimes with karmis or people who were in opposition to the movements, how he did things. For example, the cornerstone ceremony that he performed, was it in Mayapur or it was in Mumbai? I'm sorry, I'm having a blank. But Srila Prabhupada did not even have the right to the land yet. He didn't own the paper to the land, but he knew that if we do the cornerstone ceremony, we install an Antashesha, we will get the favor of the people. So he did that even before he had the actually title to the land, which the devotees managed to get a year and a half later. And the police actually wanted to come and remove the deity, and Prabhupada got the support of the community. You don't do this in India. If you've installed a deity, you do not remove. So in this way, you can see how Srila Prabhupada was very tactful in pushing on the movement. So it's very so much knowledge and nectar to get from this series. So I highly suggest that, on YouTube you have a feature that when you watch a video that you've watched already in the past, it's going to start from that point on. So use that feature to keep track of where you are and keep watching it again and again. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to show you now. So this is August, September 1973 at the Bhaktivedanta Manor in the UK that we all know. So there's footage of the installation of śiṣya Radha Gokulananda on Janmashtami. And one interesting thing that I learned is that Prabhupada named that land New Gokula. So the land there in the UK is actually named New Gokula. A lot of devotees don't know that. Then you have the Vyasa Puja and you have some walk. So this is where I'm getting at here. You see, at 1:30, after the installation of the deities, when Prabhupada honors Prasadam, okay, he speaks. Okay, here. Okay, so here 138 onward. Shri Ranga Priya. You see the name here? It might not be so clear. Shri Ranga Priya remembers. Okay, listen to this.
My mother, father, and grandmother were talking with Prabhupada. It was upstairs in Prabhupada's room, and there were a few other of Prabhupada's disciples there. And I was just playing with some string in the back. I must have been about 7 or 8. My father had been talking with Prabhupada, and then my father called me. The next thing I remember is that one of the disciples said, Prabhupada, should we train him up for initiation? And he said, no, he is our brother's śiṣya. He is our brother's śiṣya. Then my father spoke some more things to him. And the next I remember Prabhupada saying, he said that this boy will spread Vaishnavism throughout the world, for which he has my full blessings. He was sitting cross-legged and he actually put his foot flush on my head. I just felt really happy that Prabhupada had put his foot on my head. I didn't think much beyond that. So after Prabhupada left, I wanted to have the initiation into ISKCON, which my father was very much against. So I took initiation, and that initiation didn't bear the proper fruit. So I feel now that I made a move which maybe was not in accordance with Prabhupada's greater vision of my destiny. Always from childhood, I was always very much attracted to Sriman Narayana and Rama. And I felt that Prabhupada knows the bhava in which I have to relate to the Lord. He knows my relationship with the Lord. That's why I always remained totally indebted to Prabhupada. I didn't understand anything what he meant about he is our brother's disciple or anything like that. It was only later, decades later, that thinking back, I realized that by his brother he meant Ramanujacharya, and he knew that I am only to take initiation in that line.
So you heard this. So at that time, that boy was 7, 8 years old. So that was 1973. That is about 49 years ago. So 7, 8, 56 57. That young boy would be about 56, 57 years old now. Prabhupada predicted that this young boy would spread Vaishnavism throughout the whole world. And so a great soul seems to be, on the planet at the moment also. And Prabhupada gave his full blessing. He put his foot right on his head, and he said, he has my full blessing for this. And from what he understood, you see, one more thing, he took initiation in ISKCON, and the initiation didn't bear fruit. This, we know why, because they are accepting the position of a Diksha Guru, which should only be reserved to a Mahabhagavata.
There are 3 classes of devotees, and the Guru must be accepted from the topmost class. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a Guru. As for your next question, can only a few pure devotees deliver others? Anyone, if he is a pure devotee, he can deliver others. He can become spiritual master. But unless he is on that platform, he should not attempt it. Then both of them will go to hell, like blind men leading the blind.
When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, he is to be accepted as Guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a Guru.
We see the catastrophe of trying to take the position of Diksha Guru prematurely. Many fall downs, many stories, are happening left and right.
If there are any defects within our society, it is only symptom that the instructions of the spiritual master are being neglected. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake his spiritual master and becomes ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. Anyone, if he is a pure devotee, he can deliver others. He can become spiritual master. But unless he is on that platform, he should not attempt it. Then both of them will go to hell, like blind men leading the blind. He is not a liberated person, and therefore he cannot initiate any person to Krishna consciousness. It requires special spiritual benediction from higher authorities. When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, he is to be accepted as a Guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a Guru.
One sannyasi not long ago got married at 70 years old. All these disgraceful acts are happening because of disobedience to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada has set up a system, which is the Ritvik system of initiation, which is perfect. It works perfectly. Everybody is supposed to be initiated by Prabhupada, and everybody would have his different Shiksha Guru. If the gurus in ISKCON were all acting as Shiksha Guru, great preachers, disciples of Prabhupada, sannyasis, traveling throughout the world, they would get also great reverential worship and praise for being such exalted disciples of Prabhupada. But the Diksha, the Divya Gyan, the transfer of transcendental knowledge, the realization that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am His eternal servant, that realization belongs to Prabhupada. When we say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we do not fully realize this. When we say we are eternal servant of the Lord, that realization doesn't belong to us. We might have a partial realization, and therefore we can transfer that partial realization to someone else, but not beyond that. Therefore, to attain the spiritual world, we need someone from the spiritual world.
Unless one is a resident of Krishna Loka, one cannot be a spiritual master. That is the first proposition. A layman cannot be a spiritual master, and if he becomes so, then he will simply create disturbance. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge, and because you have to select spiritual master, a self-realized soul, just like if you want to study particular subject matter, you have to approach a realized person, a perfect person. Then you get the self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. One who has not seen the truth, he cannot. Now one may question whether you have seen Krishna. So how Krishna can be seen? Yes, a spiritual master must have seen Krishna. Without seeing, he cannot be a spiritual master.
We cannot go back to Krishna by accepting the shelter of someone who is within 3 modes of material nature. That will not work.
A conditioned soul cannot deliver another conditioned soul. Only Krishna or his bona fide representative can deliver him.
Yet the GBC states that it does not vouch for the devotional standard of the gurus initiated in ISKCON, And in their paper presented, the Sastric Advisory Committee, SAC, states that a guru should at least be on the platform of Nishta. You know, there's a devotional ladder. Okay, first is faith, okay, association of devotee, initiation, then regulative principles, then there's anartha nivritti, no more unwanted habits, then there's nishta. After nishta, there's finally ruchi, which is the real taste of devotional service. Beyond that, there's asakti. Asakti means your mind is naturally attracted to Krishna. You do not need to endeavor anymore. You have natural attraction. And above that, there is bhava stage. And we saw in the case of Bilva Mangala Thakur, he fell down from bhava, and Bharata Maharaj, he fell down from bhava. So what to speak of someone who is on the Nishta platform? So, and then there is prema, you know, and then the association with the Lord. So we need someone who is on the topmost level, someone who comes from the spiritual world, and you know, bring us back there.
We should note carefully that the Lord was transferred to Devaki not by ordinary way for a human being, but by diksha, initiation. Thus the importance of initiation is mentioned here. Unless one is initiated by the right person, who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Godhead within the core of one's own heart.
Krishna is within the heart of the pure devotee, and he can give it to us. Now, just see what Prabhupada, if you watch this series, Following Srila Prabhupada, okay, if you watch this, it is unbelievable how Prabhupada did this, you know, in 11 years, 11 years. I mean, just in 1972, it's 1971, 1970 even, if you see the footages of the Rath Yatra festival performed in San Francisco, I mean, there's tens of thousands of people. The one performed in London, same thing. How did he do? One pure devotee. You see what he did? Now in ISKCON, there's what, 50 initiator gurus? Imagine there's 50 Prabhupada on the planet at the moment. Xi Jinping and, the new president of America and this president of Russia will be having Sankirtan together. 50 Prabhupada on the planet, forget it, it's Vaikuntha. One Prabhupada in 11 years, what did he do? Now you've got 50 men, you know, dressed as sannyasi, giving initiation since 1977 all the way to now. And why has not ISKCON swallowed the whole world? Is because it's a spinning fan. Actually, ISKCON is going down and down and down. Everybody can feel it, you know. It's being emptied, and more it's becoming Hindu temples maintained by some Hindus, you know. So the potency is gone because they are disconnected themselves. So okay, back to this. Now this Prabhu, who would, according to him, take initiation in the line of Ramanujacharya, would be almost 60 years old now. So you saw his name, Sri Rangapriya. That is his birth name, Sri Rangapriya. So if you have heard of him, maybe you could, you know, share. I've looked online, Sri Rangapriya Maharaj. There's one, but he passed away already. He was older, so it's not him. So just to let you know that there's a great soul that has been predicted. So I'm sharing this with you. Please watch this series, since it is very wonderful. It has helped me a lot, and I hope it will help you also. So Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada.